Hello everyone, this is our next video lecture regarding class 12 chapter surface chemistry. In this video lecture we will discuss the topic collide, then colloidal solution, true solution, suspension, then types of colloidal solution, what are micelles, micellization and cleansing action of a soap and types of surfactants. Our first topic is what is collide. A collide is an intermediate between a true solution and a suspension with a high molecular weight, and the particles are aggregate and form a colloidal solution. This is your true solution. The particles are dispersed in a true solution. This is the bulk phase, which is your suspension, and this is the colloidal solution, which is the intermediate between true solution and a suspension. So we can say that collide is not a substance, but it is a state of a substance which depends upon the size of the particles, having a range of 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer. So what is a collide? Its examples: collide is an intermediate between the solution and suspension with the diameter of colloidal particles of range 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer, which is smaller than the suspension and larger than the solution. The colloids exist in everyday life we use, for example mayonnaise, whipped cream, milk, butter, gel, muddy water, color, glass, papers, all the things are just colloids. This, for example, this foam is a collide, this milk is a collide, the fog and smoke is collide, your detergent, paints, blood, even blood plasma is a colloidal solution, then aerogel, all these are colloids. So we can say collide is a heterogeneous mixture in which diameter is ranging from 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer, and we can distinguish the particles by using the electron microscope. So properties, these are apparently homogeneous. Sometimes you cannot differentiate between homogeneous and heterogeneous for colloids, but by using the microscope, ultra microscope, you can check that colloidal particles are heterogeneous mixture. They have the diameter of 1 to 1000 nanometer. The dispersed particles can be seen by electron microscope only. The dispersed particles cannot be separated by filtration. The shape depends on its concentration. Concentric colloids appear as a milk or a cloudy, and they are dilute as appeared as a homogeneous. So we can say that its shape depends upon the concentration of the particles. Moving to next, suspension. It is a heterogeneous mixture in which the diameter of its particle is larger than 1000 nanometer, and it can be distinguished by naked eye, such as sand in water and chalk powder in water. For example, flour in water is like a liquid which is suspension. It is used before shaking so that suspension have a particle size larger than the colloids. The properties of suspension: suspension is a heterogeneous mixture, diameter of particle is larger than 1000 nanometer, and the particles of suspension settle down if they are left unshaken for some time. The suspended particles can be seen by naked eyes. The suspended particles can be separated by filtration by using the simple filter paper or ultra filter papers. These are the properties of true solutions, colloids and suspension. This is the range of the particle size. Filter with the ordinary filter paper, no true solution is not filterable, colloidal is not filterable, but suspension is filterable. Homogeneous solution: true solution is a homogeneous, colloids are borderline liquids, and suspension, no, they are heterogeneous. Settle: true solution do not settle down, colloids do not settle down, only suspension will settle down when left unshaken. Behavior toward light: solutions, true solutions are transparent, colloidal solutions show Tyndall effect, and suspension show translucent or opaque behavior. This is the demonstration for suspension where particle size is larger than 1000 nanometer. This is for a colloidal solution where particle size is smaller than 1000 nanometer and greater than 1 nanometer. And this is true solution where particle size is less than 1 nanometer. So by this we can say that the colloid exists intermediate between solution and your suspension. Here one thing is more, that effect of beam of light. Light can pass through solutions. In colloids light gets scatters, and in suspension light cannot pass through it. An example of solution is salt solution. In colloids it is mayonnaise, and in suspension it is muddy water. This is the size of the particles of a solution that increase in collide and in suspension. So while moving from left to right, we can say from true solution to suspension, the particle size goes on increasing. This is a demonstration where in true solution particles are not visible. In colloids particles are little visible, but in suspension the particles are maximum visible. So this is the example. This is your NaCl solution, that is a true solution. This is your colloid, the smoke and fog. These are jelly. These jellies are just example of colloid. And suspension, that sand in water is a suspension. Moving to next, types of colloidal solutions. Depending upon three types of colloidal solution are divided. First is on the basis of physical classification, second is on the basis of the nature of the interactions, and third is on the basis of molecular size. So on first, in physical classification, we will study dispersion phase or dispersion medium. On the basis of nature of interaction, we will discuss the lyophobic and lyophilic colloids. On the nature, on the basis of molecular size, we will discuss the colloidal particles are of three types, that is macro, multi and associated colloids. So moving to next, first type is the colloidal system depending upon the physical state. As in solution, we have two terms, solvent and solute, which are used. These are the two components of a solution, but in colloids these two components are dispersing medium and dispersed phase. So dispersed phase represents our solute and dispersion medium represents our solvent. So here this is dispersed medium, which is your water here in a colloidal solution of silver, and dispersed phase is silver particles. So we can say that dispersed phase is present in a less quantity and dispersion medium is present in a large quantity. Now classification, according to this we can say that dispersion medium can be solid, liquid or gas. Similarly dispersed phase can be solid, liquid or gas. So we will check the types of colloidal solutions. One is when liquid, that is dispersed phase, is put in dispersion medium, that is gas. So liquid in gas is your aerosol, for example fog. Then next, solid in liquid, it is solid aerosol, that is smoke. Then gas in liquid, that is your foam, whipped cream. Then liquid in liquid, emulsion, good example is your oil in water. Then next is solid in liquid, that is soles, that are paints. Then gas in solid is another example of a solid form, that are you cake. Then liquid in solid is a gel, which we use jelly. And then solid in solid is a solid soles, that are colored glass. So these are the types of colloidal solutions. Moving to next, on the basis of nature of interactions, colloidal solutions are of two types, that is your lyophobic colloids and lyophilic colloids. We all know what is the meaning of lyophobic and lyophilic means. We know the meaning of phobic. This phobic means that solvent hating. So lyophobic means solvent hating colloids, where the philic word represents the loving. So philic colloid means solvent loving colloids. So we will discuss one by one. Lyophobic colloids are the colloids in which dispersion phase do not have any type of interactions for dispersion medium, or we can say that in dispersion phase and in dispersion medium the interactions are weaker. So these type of colloids are irreversible. They need the stabilizers to preserve them. And in lyophilic colloids the solvent is having a good interaction, so means that dispersed phase and dispersion medium have a good interaction. They can easily be formed, they are self stabilizing, and the solutions are reversible. For example gums, gelatin, starch and aluminum. Generally the colloidal solution of metals are lyophobic in nature, for example solution of gold, silver, iron, arsenic, etc. Moving to next, this is the difference between lyophilic and lyophobic salts. They can be prepared easily by directly mixing with liquids, that is your dispersion phase in a dispersion medium. But lyophobic, they cannot be directly prepared by simple method. They can be prepared by special methods only. Now next point is lyophilic. They are quite stable and not easily precipitate out. but lyophobic, they are not stable. They need little amount of electrolyte to get stable. Lyophilic colloids are reversible in nature, but lyophobic are irreversible in nature because they cannot made easily. We use special methods to prepare them, so it is not that much easy to make convert them back. So these lyophobic colloidal solutions are irreversible. Moving to next, third type, based on the molecular size. There are three types, that is multimolecular colloids, then macromolecular colloids and associated colloids. In multimolecular colloid, multi means more than one. So they are aggregation of atoms or molecule which have a diameter of less than 1. Here the solution of gold and sulfur is the example. Their molecular masses are not very high and their atom or molecule are held together by weak van der Waals forces. Multimolecular colloids are formed by the aggregation of large number of atoms and molecules, but their diameter is less than 1 nanometer, means the diameter of the particles is of a true solution. True solution particles when combined, then they form multimolecular colloid, means more than 2, means large number of particles combine to form multimolecular colloids. Moving to next, macromolecular colloid, they are not molecules of large size. Here the size is more than 1 nanometer. For example, polymers like rubber, nylon, starch, they have a high molecular masses, and due to the long chain, the van der Waals forces holding them is comparatively stronger than your multimolecular colloids. And the last one is associated colloids. These are formed by the aggregation of large number of ions in a concentrated solution. So this means that large number of aggregated molecules collide or ions combine to form the associated colloids. For example, soap soles. Their molecular masses are generally high, and higher is the concentration, therefore greater is the van der Waals forces. This is the difference between the molecular dispersion, colloidal dispersion and coarse particle. Coarse particle is your suspension or emulsion. Colloidal solution dispersion is your colloidal solution, and this is your molecular dispersion. So we can check that here the particle size are smaller, which is a true solution. Here the particle size is larger, and here the particle size is maximum. Now next topic is micelle. What is micelle? Before that, we have to know what is CMC. CMC is critical micelle concentration. It is the minimum concentration of a surfactant molecule which is required to form the micelle. So, it is term used for the surfactant molecules. This is a one molecule of a surfactant of sodium stearate, a soap, where a CH3, CH2, CH2, these are 16 CH2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. So CH2 16 and CH3, and then we have COO negative. This means we have CH3, then CH2 16, that is CH2 16, that is there, those are attached in a linear chain. These are your, this is the formula for a sodium stearate 16, and then we have COO, and this is your negative charge, and with Na positive. This is what represented here as. So this chain, this whole group represents the chain, and this is the head group, C double bond O negative. This is your head group. This is the head group, head, and the last where the carbon and hydrogen are only present, this is known as your tail of a chain. This tail is hydrophobic in nature and the head is hydrophilic in nature. Because this is organic, it contains carbon and hydrogen, so it is hydrophobic, means hating water. But the head is having a negative charge, so it is a polar, so it is a hydrophilic, means water attracting. This we will check in the next, that we have concentration of a surfactants and we can check their dilutions or CMC. So this is the head we know that this is the head, this is hydrophilic, this chain is hydrophobic. So when we put little amount of surfactant in a water stearate ion, then that means the solution is dilute. The lesser amount of sodium stearate molecules are present, then we have a head group towards the water, which is a polar, and water is a polar, and the chain is away from it, which is a non-polar. So what will happen if you increase the concentration of stearate ions? We get a micelle formation, and this micelle formation is nothing but a micelle which is having a hydrophobic part inside it and a hydrophilic part are outside it. So this is your lyophilic ends and this is your lyophobic end. This is the formation of micelles, in which these are the chains and this is the head of the surfactant, and this is what we get the micelle formation in our day-to-day life. So what is the mechanism of micelles? We get a large number of ions of a soap or surfactant combined to form a micelle. Then what we get in first step, we put a little amount of ions, they try to settle, and in the second step they try to accommodate more position. This is the dirt, we can say, which we want to clear or remove, and they try to aggregate and form a micelle, and they trap that dirt in the micelle in its lyophobic part, and this is the way we can clean the clothes. So we will discuss the cleaning action of soap. We put a dirty cloth inside the surfactant solution and we can get that micelle will trap the dirt or grease from your cloth and take away it from. How this happens? We have a oil on the fabric surface, we put surfactant ions. They firstly try to arrange themselves according to the dirt or oil particles, then they form this type of coverage around it, and finally they form a micelle, and they trap the oil and dirt in their lyophobic part, and while washing with the water, the micelle along with the dirt get removed from the fabric. This is what we have, the oil get trapped here, and this is your tail of a surfactant, and this is the head group, polar group, which is in directly interaction with the water, which is also a polar. And when we wash the cloth, so the trapped oil get away along with the micelle, and this is what happens, the cleaning action of soap. Last is top types of surfactants. So there are three types of surfactants: ionic surfactants, cationic surfactants, and non-ionic surfactants. As the word represents, anionic means carrying a negative charge. So the anionic part of the surfactant molecule possesses hydrophobic as well as hydrophilic moieties, and which leads to the anionic micelle formation. Here all the chains containing negative charge, so the surfactant are anionic surfactant. Now moving to cationic surfactant, that will have a positive charge. So this is your cationic surfactant, which have a cationic part of the surfactant which contain hydrophobic and hydrophilic moieties, and which leads to the cationic micelles. Here, as the surfactants are cationic, they need anionic particles to stable it, but here the surfactant is anionic, so it needs a positive moiety to stable it. Last is your non-ionic surfactant. These are the surfactant which take part in the micelle formation, which do not have any charge. This is all what we have studied. Thank you for watching. Keep liking.